Hey y'all, it's your girl Monét, and welcome back to The Exchange Rate, a talk show where if I won the lottery, I would honestly donate a quarter of it to charity. Seriously, it'll be the best 25 cents I would ever spend. I'm kidding. The best 25 cents I ever spent was definitely that extra barbecue sauce down at the Wendy's. You know what I mean? I hate that they charge you for extra sauces. That's so fucking rude. Anyway, we have a really great show for y'all today because we international now, honey. Because hailing from the beautiful island of Martinique, Karine Jean-Pierre is here. And from across the pond, from a place I'll soon be calling home, me and Patty, Blu Hydrangea is also here. Right? Patty's laughing. But first, let's get into the gig. Before I start, we finally got our cups. I got it. I'm a independent woman. I'm gonna pop this bottle. We finally got our fancy cups from the studio. God, I'm gonna. Oh my god, Colleen is sleeping. It's gonna scare her, right?
Probably. Should we wake her up?
No, I'm not gonna do it. I can pop them soft. Also,
pop it soft.
I'm fully unraveling it and unraveling it again. Oh, there we go. Okay. You better pop it soft. We're referencing this video. Have you ever seen that video? It's like this little black boy with his mom, and he gets out the car and he's angry and he's about to slam the door. She's like, "Oh, you better close it soft." And he's like, black moms are ridiculous. Yeah, Patty finally got my cup from the studio. You see? It's fine. So, I'm back to lubricating during the show. And I'm very excited. I love Prosecco. Oh, Patty, can you do me a favor? If you look in the cabinet, there's Crystal Light. Can you pass me one of the facts? Oh, it's about to be so lit in here. It's so good. Oh, it's on the second show. Pass me the yellow one, the iced tea one. And just rip it at the top for me. Let me tell y'all don't know about this. Y'all don't know about this, honey. This is everything.
This is what?
You take the Crystal Light, and you don't have to put a whole bunch. You just go literally this much. You put that in your drink, and girl, this drink about to be so good. Get you a little iced tea Prosecco moment. Oh my God. So good. So cheers to the weekend. Clink. Which I had a fabulous weekend last weekend. On Friday, I had lunch with my aunt. And then on Saturday, one of my best friends from college, Dewan, came down. Shout out to Dewan. And I just had a good old weekend. Just living in New York City. It's the perfect time in New York where it's fall. And so you can wear big oversized clothes. And you can wear a little scarf if you want to. But it's still nice and cool. But not too cold outside. It's really, really, really great. And so I had a really good weekend in New York City. Thank you, New York City. I had Jacob's pickles. I had Mason pickle. All the pickles. Which I hate pickles. Isn't that so ironic? I went to all these pickle restaurants and I hate pickles. But they have really good other things. And anyway. You used to work at Jacob's Pickle. Then you got fired, yeah. Also, congratulations and a big shout out to Cynthia Bailey. She had her wedding this weekend. And there were 250 people gathered at this wedding. Celebrities galore. None of the celebrities that I knew besides the housewives. But I'm not always on the up and up in celebrities. I try to be, but the tea is I really don't be knowing nobody except for who is in my reality show / Schitt's Creek. The shows I watch. That's all who I know. So it was really, really, really cute. Another shady thing that happened in Atlanta this weekend was ATL Pride. ATL Pride was bonkers. We normally don't show videos here. We're going to show a video. Look at this fucking video of wall-to-wall people. This is insane. Literally a sea of white dudes dancing, coughing, sweating, snorting. Because that's what's going on in these little circuit parties. I just wouldn't even feel comfortable. There's nothing about that would make me feel comfortable to want to do that. Not even to mention coronavirus being a thing. Outside of coronavirus is nothing that I would ever attend. I'm not knocking you if you do, but it's just not my thing. It's just too much. It's too much. And yeah, the last thing I do want to say is that Bachelor is premiered this week. And I'm just so confused as to who is still watching the show. It's like Grey's Anatomy. I'm sure they're on like season, what, like 47 of Bachelor? Like, who, do you watch The Bachelor? Do you know anyone who watches The Bachelor? Mom, aunts, who's watching the show? No one. Not to mention, they still have not had a queer, lesbian, or no one in the LGBTQIA plus has been a Bachelor. So there's no reason for me to watch. And Out Magazine should pick up that story and run and tell that, because they're in some deep, deep doo-doo hot water today. So if you don't know what Out Magazine is, Out Magazine, if you can tell by the name, it's a queer publication, and they talk about lots of queer stories, you know, from Drag Race to this really problematic Supreme Court Justice pick, Amy Coney. They span the gamut of queer issues, because I'm sure companies like that companies like that normally have more than one owner. So one of the owners, Adam Levine, who's the owner of the parent company Oriva Capital, who produces for Out Magazine and The Advocate, broke his 2018 pledge to stop donating to anti-LGBTQIA businesses. And what?
He owns Oriva Capital, that owns Pride Media Inc., which oversees Advocate now.
Y'all heard what Patty said? Adam Levine owns Oriva Capital, which is the overseer of what? Pride Media, which oversees Out Magazine and The Advocate. So he's at the top. He's one of them rich motherfuckers at the top eating, and the rest of us are down here trying to get crumbs. And so he is still donating to LGBTQI. Oh my God. He is donating to anti-LGBTQIA plus Republicans. And in 2018, he said that he would stop doing this, and he is clearly lying. Donating to Republicans such as Devin Nunes, Dean Heller, Josh Mandel. And I have to agree, the only one I've ever heard about is Devin Nunes, because of his problematic ass. But yeah, and these Republicans have taken public stances against the community, which is terrible for Out Magazine to be supporting these people. He responded saying this: "If you're asking if we will ever make any donations to any politician with an anti-LGBT stance, again, the answer is fuck no." This is what he said, but they're still doing it. He donated $2,800 to each Stephen Daines and Tom Tillis, and then he also donated $5,600 to a joint Tillis and Daines fundraising committee. So they're not standing on their word, and it's so crazy to think that a publication like Out Magazine would not know about this. And they're quick to report about how ranking drag queens and who person did this, but y'all don't want to talk about your own mess. Let's wait to hear a quote from them, what they have to say about their own issues. I would like them to say something, right? I think they owe that to us.
Literally,
That's their job.
Right. So it's like, but how are you going to be like, yeah, our company owned, like, how do you report on that? I don't know.
We'll see. They probably won't, but it'd be nice for them too. We need somebody, like, you know, if Perez Hilton was still a thing, Perez Hilton would blow the lid off of this. You know what I mean? You remember when Perez Hilton was like, he was one of like the first gossip celebrity blogger thingy peoples.
It was like that, delisted, gossip.
Yeah, I don't know about I never heard about no delisted. Oh my God, you remember Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List? What a great show. They should put that on Hulu. I would binge watch that. What a great show. Anyway, Perez Hilton is writing a tell-all memoir. Do you see that transition? Look at that transition! Perez Hilton is writing a tell-all memoir about his life. And honestly, I want to read this book. I think it would be everything. It would be a great like summer read, a great plain read. I can't wait for it to come out because it's going to be so juicy. It's filled with a lot of crazy celebrity stories, but he's also talking about his experiences about the blog and how it came to be and how like he kind of got read to filth and how he kind of wanted to stop because it was so toxic. It was a pretty toxic. I mean, he was outing celebrities. He was name like bullying celebrities and their kids. It was pretty bad. But it's what made him famous. It's called TMI, My Life in Scandal by Perez Hilton. Which, did you know that he was Cuban? I thought Perez Hilton was a white man.
I didn't think that because it's called Perez Hilton, but I didn't know he was
What is Hilton? Is the Hiltons? What about that name?
I always thought it was a play on words.
I didn't get it. I thought he was a white man, but he's from Miami, a Cuban dude, and he became the most hated man in Hollywood. But also, Perez comes from a troubled past. He was bullied in school because of his weight and being gay. Because unlike a lot of the Gen Zers and late millennials, like being gay, and it still is now. I'm not diminishing that, but being gay back then, in the early '90s or whatever, mid '90s. It was super hard for people to come out and to be open, and because we didn't have labels like non-binary, and we didn't have lots of trans friends and lots of trans people, so it was just different back then. So I get it. He was bullied for all these things, and so he would just spend time in his room, like eating and like watching TV in his bedroom. And he got obsessed with pop culture, and he hit it big in 2005 with Perez Hilton Online, the gossip blog, and people were like. We don't know, like a lot of these young artists like Katy Perry, Amy Winehouse, Adele, like Lady Gaga, like he could have helped put them on the map because he would post about them and put them on his blog, and people would, like, he was instrumental in that. People discount that, but maybe we would not know the Katys and the Gagas and the Adeles if Perez didn't talk about them as much. You know what I mean? Like that gives him exposure, gives him access. And in his prime, he was getting 8 million hits a day. That is a lot of views to your website per day. Do people make money off of hits on websites? I remember that used to be like a big thing. It's like Instagram views now, website hits. You know what I mean? Probably. And his big turning point was when. Do you remember when they were doing that big? It was that gay campaign. It was like No Hate or something like that. And a big turning point for him was when he uploaded a video for the It Gets Better campaign. And he uploaded a video to that saying like, it gets better, bullying, yada, 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 in the LGBT community. And everyone was like, you talking about it gets better from bullying? Bitch, you're the bully. You're the one bullying all these people on a huge international platform. So, and that was the light bulb for him. Like, I need to change my life. Like, this is a mess. He says this now. I have a ton of regrets, particularly because I now see that I never needed to be so mean or cruel. One of the many things I regret is that I hurt so many people by giving them... Ooh. This Crystal Light, though. This is so good. One of the many things I regret is that I hurt so many people by giving them nasty nicknames, and above all, that I was unkind to children of celebrities. I reached a point in my private life where I started having these thoughts. By the way, speaking of children celebrities, you see this like Kim Kardashian shared on her story. It's like they have like a big family group chat, and like the last message is like Kylie sends a thing talking about Psalms 29:48. God is not a God of this and that. It's like a whole Bible verse, and everyone's like, amen. Yeah. I didn't feel like posting that on you. But again, we post stuff like that all the time. But something about them just seems so disingenuous and so opportunistic. Like they're doing this to make us know. Like, bitch, we Christian. Anyway. But I was paralyzed by fear that I would lose everything that I had worked very hard to achieve up until that point. So he's remorseful, and now he has a kid. And I think that when you have kids and stuff, like, you change. Like, you realize, like, life needs to be different. So good to him. One of the stories, though, in the book, because I got a little excerpt, is when he's talking about the scandalous night with him, Jessica Simpson, and John Mayer. So, yeah, I remember back in early 2000s, I think, or 2004, 2005, Jessica Simpson and John Mayer were together, back when she was a brunette. You remember when Jessica was a brunette? Mm-hmm. This went, yes, in her, like, heyday. Well, I guess the blonde, Chicken of the Sea was her heyday, but the brunette was such a change. We're like, oh my God, Jessica Simpson is brunette? Oh my God. So her and John Mayer were together, and then Perez went to some club after hosting some New Year's Eve thing with Christina Aguilera. He's at this club. It's John Mayer in the middle. With John Mayer, I never thought he was hot. He's one of those hot guys. Like, he looks so dingy and dusty, but I'm like, the dick might smell, but it's probably good. You know what I mean? So it's John Mayer sitting, Jessica's on this side, Perez is on this side, and they're, it's celebrities, they're probably hopped up on who God knows what, on glue, coke, who knows? And then John Mayer, like, leans over to him, and they're, like, all talking. He's like, sometimes I watch gay porn. Brett Corrigan. And Perez is like, shut up, really? Me too. And then one thing leads to another. John Mayer leans in and starts to tongue kiss Perez Hilton. Jessica Simpson is over here like, oh my God, what is happening here on this gay day? But if you're kissing another man in front of your girl, something has happened before that she knows. She knows. And he's not gay. He probably, dabbles, whatever. And then Jessica Simpson starts rubbing his butt. Well, this is allegedly. This is what Perez is saying in his book. Jessica Simpson started rubbing John Mayer's crotch, like, ferociously in a handjob-esque like way. And then John lets out some type of sigh of relief. And then the moment is over. So fill in the blanks. I love shit like this. Celebrities are fucking wild. And I can't wait to read the book. Woo. Speaking of wild celebrities, Cardi, Bella, what is his name? Belcalis Barty. Belcalis Balcazar, that's her name?
Belcalis Alcazar, I think? I'm gonna look this up.
Well, Belcalis. Patty's gonna look up the full name. Her and Offset, this thing is so back and forth. I can't keep tabs. But again, love is tumultuous. I get it. Love is crazy. It's full of passion. It's full of whatever. But they're finally allegedly divorced. If you want, here's the whole breakdown of their relationship. They got married in 2017. They split in late 2018, and they got back together January 2019. She filed for divorce this past mid-September.
Almanzar?
Oh, Belcalis Almanzar. They filed for divorce. She filed for divorce in mid-September, and saying that their marriage was irretrievably broken. This is quoted by Cardi. A few days after filing, Cardi's like, stop speculating. No, he did not cheat. No, he does not have no baby coming. We were just fighting all the time. And she's like, we just needed to not be married anymore. So then on October 7th, she posted that picture on her Instagram, which is so hot, with the devil, which everyone is like, oh my God, you with the Illuminati. How come you ain't tell us? Yeah. With her, the devil, the red cat suit with the devil horns. She looks so good. Have you seen that picture of her in the pink bikini? And again, she looks so hot. And then Offset liked that picture. I saw that. I don't follow Offset, but I was, for some reason it came up that Offset, he was one of the first ones. I guess the algorithms, whatever. Offset liked it, and then on Thursday, on October 8th, fans were dragging Offset, saying this and that and the other, and Cardi B was like, no, stop talking about my man. Y'all not gonna disrespect the father of my baby. No, don't do that. And I guess fans think if you are going through something that gives them the permission to go off on that person and let their opinions be known to. Cardi B like, no, he's the father of my kid. Y'all can't disrespect him. Which, go off, sis. And then on October 9th, Offset posted on Instagram saying that he misses Mrs. WAP. Miss Wet Ass Pussy Work. I don't know WAP is the official name for Cardi B. Mrs. WAP. That's fucking fierce. Oh my God, I want a name. Mr. Wab. Wet Ass Pussy. And then Offset bought her a billboard that said, what's the caption of the billboard? Oh yeah, happy birthday from Culture. And Cardi B commented saying, thank you, sir, I love it. And people obviously is from Offset, she would know if someone else did it. And and this past weekend she had her crazy birthday party in Las Vegas, all weekend long, celebrating I Ain't See No Mask, whatever. And there's videos. He bought her a Rolls Royce, which Cardi B can buy her own. When I see celebrities give each other really expensive gifts like that, I'm like, she can fully afford to buy her own Rolls Royce. But I guess if someone else buys you a $300,000 car, why would you say no? So, yeah, and then she there's pictures of them kissing, her jumping him and twerking on him, and so who knows if they're back together. Honestly, they're grown-ass people doing grown people things. They were married. They have a kid. They can do whatever they want. And it's honestly, frankly, none of our fucking business, but we're going to talk about it. And the last thing I want to talk about is Zoom Halloween. Now, of course, Halloween is not going to look like regular Halloween because we're in a pandemic. So there are many, many, many Zoom costumes that we'll talk about in this week's Halloween Highlight. Woo! This is the new graphic. I love this. It's very the blood splatter is in the highlight. That was all my idea, but this is designed by our lovely Matt Forte. Thank you, Matt. Some of the costumes this year that are really fierce are Carol Baskin from Tiger King. Tiger King was such a big splash. You didn't watch it yet, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Tiger King, the fly on Mike Pence's head. I'm so mad that fly became the thing. I think that shit is so stupid. There's so many more important things that we needed to discuss about that debate, not the fucking fly. But the picture of Silky as the fly on his head is so funny. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion WAP costumes, which are like, who is wearing these costumes? These bitches are like snatched. They look perfect. We ain't gonna look like that, sis, in no WAP costume, so we can try. We ain't gonna look like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. And one that I don't get is a loaf of bread. People are dressed. It's like a loaf. I don't get the bread thing. Do you get the bread thing?
Because apparently everybody was baking banana bread.
Why?
I don't know. Because everybody was like baking bread in quarantine. That was like the thing.
There's so many other things to break, like cookies.
Baking. What? You said break.
Bake. There's so many. I'm a little drunk. There's like cookies and stuff. Why banana bread? I don't get it.
It was a thing. There was like a yeast shortage. Everybody was like trying.
A yeast shortage?
I think.
Bitch, so. I got enough yeast out here to feed the world. I'm baking a loaf right now, girl. But anyway, those are some of the really cool costumes. Also, a tiger, the Murder Hornets, Watermelon Sugar, Harry Styles, folklore costumes, and Who's Normal People. Anyway, there are a list of costumes, but the four I said at the beginning are like the really popular ones. If you want to really stunt at a Zoom party, do one of those, girl, and turn the party. Woo-hoo-hoo. Our first guest blossomed into our hearts on the first season of Drag Race UK, and since then she has remained in full bloom. You see what I did there? That's smart. Let's welcome the very, very pretty Blu Hydrangea.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Some say full bloom, I say rosebud, but I mean, same diff, right?
You look so good. The makeup, the hair, the outfit.
Stop it. Well, I'm the only one on like the UK season that can do makeup, so I have to show up and show out whenever I'm invited to these things, you know.
Blu, I'm not going like I want to shade the other girls. I love them all, but facts are facts, UK.
Yes, I mean Gothy Kendall, and she's got a big dick too, so points for her.
Oh, Mama, when the nudes leaked, I was the first one in line to receive them. I was like,
you weren't the only one.
Word.
I love it.
But to be fair, she's also maybe 30 pounds soaking wet. So, I mean, you know, contrast, you know, ratios, whatever, science. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently she's a top too, so facts are facts. I don't know.
Is she really?
Well, apparently, with that kind of dick, I mean, you'd be doing service to the world, you know, using it.
Blu, so you're the unofficial Miss Congeniality of Drag Race UK. Bob and the fans have deemed you that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I always knew I was because I'm just like the kindest bitch, you know, like that one queen that you can tell all your problems to. But I feel like the edit that I got, like I was the unofficial shade queen of the season as well. So like the audience were like, bitch, you were like read everyone from head to toe at all times. But I'm glad that now that they've gotten to know me, that they can see through all the shade and that I'm such a beautiful human being.
100%. But listen, I like that. Like, you need people like the Blu Hydrangea to make the season fun and the season to have dynamics. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with season 12 boring as hell. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're best friends. We love each other." No, we want that fire. So I appreciate it. I loved it.
I know, and that's like UK humor, like reading each other to filth. Like that's the thing to do, and I love it. Yeah. It's my favorite part of drag.
And people in the UK, you're from Belfast. I love Belfast. Belfast was the first city I visited internationally. It was season 10 was going on. I just got eliminated, and Voss Events hit me up to host Work the World because Shangela had to skip cities. We all know, if you have ever been to a Shangela show, that's scans. And Belfast is the first international city I went, and I loved it, which is why I said I love Northern Ireland on the show.
So glad that I remember your Northern Irish accent, and it was awful. But I mean, Northern Ireland is great. It's got good dick. It's got good drinking. It's like everyone's there for a party, and I miss it whenever I'm on the road. Sometimes I just love getting home. You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll be back soon. We miss you.
I will say, North of Belfast was the first city that I got my first STD in. I got my first STD in Belfast, and because I hooked up with this fan of the show We hit me up on Grinder. It was, and of course, I was feeling my fantasy. You know, I was on the current season. I got on the
Mm,
Grinder, had my profile picture, hit me up. He's like, "Oh my God, Monet, Monet, Monet." And then normally that would turn me off, but I was like feeling the fantasy. You know what I mean?
I know.
And
Yeah.
we hung out. And then he kept. We were at my hotel room. He kept on asking me about questions about Drag Race, about Miss Cracker, about RuPaul. And at
Oh
one point, it
God.
was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "Are we gonna do this or not?" And we did. And he gave me syphilis. So
Oh my
here we
gosh.
are.
Well, I got my first, my second, third, and fourth STD in Belfast, so I can relate. But that is so funny. I like have so had that moment where like you're like ready for the dick, and they're like, "So was Cheryl really that like annoying in person?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she
Like,
was. But let me suck
girl.
your dick." I love
how
it.
has COVID and everything been there though? With like how are people getting along with work and everything? How was it?
Well, Northern Ireland's like pretty like it's quite spaced out, so like we're pretty safe. At least I feel safe, better than the mainland UK anyway. Gigs
Yeah,
have been slow, but like I've been trekking along on like social media and stuff, which was like my
yeah,
platform before. And so I just feel back at home, like just a bedroom queen again, you know.
yeah. Well, so before Drag Race UK, you were big on social media in terms of makeup and stuff like that. Yeah,
Well, yeah, for like UK terms, like I wasn't doing too bad. Like
yeah.
the US girls, they have like millions, whereas like I was like happy with my 20,000. I was a humble queen, and now I get to go back to doing that, and I love it. I actually missed it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, your makeup is incredible. You post these amazing looks. The way that you like able to achieve color and change and morph your face, it really, really, really is amazing and dope. Do you have any plans for any makeup collabs? I know you did the one with Be Perfect. Are you gonna maybe do your own
Yeah,
makeup line?
I would love to. Like that is like the long term goal, and I have some like things coming up with that will like give me at least 5 more years of like drag race fame, and then hopefully after that I
Uh-huh.
can settle down and like make like a proper name for myself aside from like drag race, which kind of like you've done and like you know all the most like successful queens. So I'm happy to follow in those footsteps. You know.
Yeah. And it's a palette with Be Perfect that you have?
It's not been officially like released, but it's
Oh,
definitely some
sorry.
drag friendly. Oh no, don't worry, girl. It's some drag friendly products because like I mean they were gonna go they're gonna go in shops, which is gonna like crazy to me that I could put drag products in like shops and chemists.
Yeah.
So that was my plan. That's all I wanted to do was like make drag mainstream. Like for makeup wise anyway, and that's my little start anyway.
I love that. The girl, that's how it starts. People don't realize Rome is not built in a day. Mac Cosmetics, Anastasia didn't just start with an empire. Like you start like that. That's how shit gets bigger and fiercer. It's gonna start in the UK, then it's gonna be in the States, and it's gonna just spread and spread. You know what I mean?
And all these girls on Instagram and stuff, like the real girls, like they do drag makeup anyway. So this product's gonna be lit, and everyone's gonna want it. So it's all good.
I love. And I'm switching gears a little bit. On the show, one of your big parts of the show was you talking about your beautiful relationship with your partner and marriage equality in Northern Ireland. Are you gonna get
Yes.
married, Miss Blue?
Oh, girl. Well, he has put several rings on my finger before, but not none that are like expensive yet. But when that day comes, of course, I'm going to say yes. And I would love it. And you're definitely invited to the wedding if you
Oh my
want.
God, please! I will do my Irish jug.
Oh my gosh, you have to. Your Michael Flatley realness. Um, but yeah, I would love it. No drag allowed at the wedding, but I definitely want shit like bouncy castles and like magicians and all that good stuff. So it's gonna be a camp wedding. It's
Ooh,
gonna be good fun.
I love, love, love.
Glory holes, all that.
Honestly, that the CDC, like the New York Health Department, they literally went online and said glory holes are the preferred way to have sex in a pandemic. Like literally, our government is like, please
I
use
love
glory
that.
holes to be safe.
A glory hole is basically a mask, right?
Basically. Now, also, Blue, the Frock Destroyers. I was begged to say, along with like DWV and stuff, one of the most successful drag group thingies from RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, y'all were everywhere. Y'all were like number 3 on the iTunes charts. Do y'all plan to do more music, the three of you guys together?
I mean, yeah, we're like stuff is in the works at the moment. Those girls are like they mean so much to me, and like
Yeah.
we actually get along. Like it's not like for the cameras or for like to keep this like Frock Destroyers thing going. Like I actually love them and like pour so much effort and time into them that we couldn't not do stuff again because like to be honest. Like, if it wasn't for Frock Destroyers, I probably wouldn't be as well remembered as I am. But, like, Frock Destroyers are fucking iconic. And, like,
Oh,
thanks,
it's
bitch,
so
for the money,
good.
honey. Yes. So, yeah, definitely things are to come and soon. Sooner than you think, anyway.
Well, for New Year's Eve at Heaven nightclub, JY Heaven, Shangela, Vanjie, and I did Break Up Bye Bye. And
I love
Vanjie
it.
literally knew none of the words. She remembered none of the choreo we did. Shangela and I was sitting there like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? But again, the song is so good. And I mean, y'all really made some Drag Race history, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, Vanjie could be like the bag of the group, like that doesn't pick anything up and is like 5 points behind everyone else, but it's all good.
I heard rumors that y'all were possibly going to be at Eurovision. Is there any truth to that?
Well, BBC like run Eurovision in the UK anyway, and like so we're like in there a little bit. I'm just like sending an email every goddamn day because imagine the iconicness of us being on Eurovision. Like that would be amazing.
Oh, girl, that would be Wait, do they do groups? I thought it was just solo acts. I didn't even know that you could do groups on there.
I think there's like Steps is like a big UK band that's been on it, and like Blue and all these other ones. Like so, yeah, like UK have like some amazing like groups of people that sing. So like they've always been like pushed on it, but the UK always does shit. But I'm here to make a change. We'll do amazing this year and win.
I was looking. You have a bunch of tours coming up. You have the Halloween tour, and you also have the whole Hydrangea tour. Talk to us about those tours. What can we expect, and when do they start?
Well, like the Crystal Method one is in London, and it's my ooky spooky like debut. Like since Drag Race, now I have money. Now I can do a good Halloween show. And I'm super excited for it because like I paint for the back row, but like on a Halloween gig, I'm gonna paint for like 2 streets across. You can't even like see this mug, but you can still see it in your dreams. And then we're going on the whole Hydrangea tour with Cheryl, and I love that bitch so much. She is a hot mess like me, and we just have so much fun on the stage together. And she's like one of those people that like, you know, you have that one person in your friend group that you read to filth like every single time you see them. She is that, and I just love that because I just get to have fun with her.
I love that. And that, again, I think that's why the fans gravitated and liked the UK season so much because it was refreshing. Like, again, I'm from the US Drag Race. I get it. Like, I know. But y'all were there was a level of just freeness, and y'all weren't worried about, like, being portrayed this and that, the other. Y'all were just super duper honest to yourselves, good, bad, or ugly. And that's what sometimes I think the US seasons lack because we're so afraid of being perceived a certain way. But y'all were like, bitch, this is what I am. This bitch is ugly. I don't like her. Red hair, a red wig, and a silver dress. I don't think. Like, y'all are just super honest.
Yeah, we were messy as fuck, but like that's what I love. We all pulled together and we had like this. We knew that we were going to be the first season, so we had something to prove. So it was a competition first, obviously, and then secondly, it was just like to make a legacy for UK drag, and I feel like we did that, and that's like something that I'm super proud to be a part of. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, now, Blue. So as I was telling you, so before the camera started rolling, I was telling Blue we were talking about my little UK excursion. Going to be living in the UK for 3 months. And do you have any tips or pointers for me being an American in London? What should I? Well, I've been there a bunch of times, but like living, I feel like it's different. No shade. The UK food is not my favorite. I'm very nervous. Y'all don't believe in ice. Y'all have doors everywhere. I have a lot of obstacles, but what recommendations do you have for me?
You have to try a fry up. It's some greasy ass food. It tastes so good. It's made in like a fryer that's been like not been cleaned in days, and it tastes so good. You have
fry
to just
up?
like just ask for a fry up. Just like
okay,
and ask for everything. Don't say like you don't want anything. Just ask for it all because it's all good.
Okay.
Maybe that's some food you'll like. Don't expect Londoners to like be nice or have manners. And I realized that.
Really?
Whenever
I mean, I'm
Northern
from
Ireland,
New York. New Yorkers are pretty rude.
maybe then you'll feel right at home. But like in Northern Ireland, everyone is like overly friendly. They're like, let me open this door, let me like walk you in, let me, whereas you never get that in London. But
in London,
oh my God, am I gonna get hate from Londoners?
What about the dick in London? Is the dick good?
It is good. And like I said off camera, vinegar is gonna be like your prized possession when you're getting the good dick, because we were on God Save the Queens, which is like a backstage VIP access of our tour that we did last year. And there was one night where we all went out and she got plastered and made out with 25 boys in like the space of an hour and a half.
Girl, that sounds like a recipe for mono.
Well, she might have mono to this day, but like apparently she had a good night, which is just as important, right?
Blue, this was great. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Once again, you look incredible. Who is this wig by? I need one like that when I get to London.
Ooh, this is Florencia's wigs. She's actually from London and has saved my ass a good few times whenever I've been on the road. She's good. She's the tea.
I'm hitting her up because you look incredible.
Thank you so much.
You really, she really does have the best makeup and makeup hair in the UK. No shade to the girls. I love all the girls. I mean, it's just impeccable work.
You look good too, and this Bag of Chips tribute, so it's all good.
Oh my God, I fully am giving Bag of Chips. The kitty cat wig and yellow.
Bag of Chips wishes she could blend that harshly. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for chatting and talking with me. I can't wait. When I get to London, I don't know what restrictions are, but I am going to try to make a trip to my homeland of Northern Ireland, and we'll kiki, get some fry up, and I'm
yes. Well, me and my boyfriend said that we were going to come see the show anyway, so we'll definitely have a kiki while you're over. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for the content you've been putting out over lockdown on YouTube and on this show, because it really keeps us going, and I live for drag content. So to be without it would be horrible.
Ditto to you too.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Mwah. I'll see you soon, my love.
See you soon.
On the subject of politics, a good old exchange rate fave is back to give us a little political breakdown to keep us abreast on the ever so trifling American political system.
I cannot believe what is going on in this country right here, right now, on this day. Hey everyone, it's Marty Gold Cummings with an all-new segment of Political Fish. It's been a while since I saw you last, but I am so happy to be back on the exchange rate talking to you about all things voting. Because guess what? We have an election in just a couple of weeks on November 3rd, so make sure that you have a plan to vote. There is so much happening in our country right now that should activate you, inspire you, and get you to the polls to vote! There is no excuse! There is no excuse! Do you hear me, America? Go and vote! This administration is actively working to roll back the rights of the most vulnerable and marginalized among us. We are not just voting for a president, we're voting for our court system. What does that mean, you may wonder? Well, let me tell you. The Supreme Court, which Mitch McConnell, who people liken to a turtle, which I think is an insult to turtles because I love turtles. McConnell is a racist. They are now working to pack the court with conservatives, which are going to roll back the rights of LGBTQIA plus people, our immigrant community, women and reproductive rights. It's going to take away healthcare, remove Obamacare, a system that has given millions of people healthcare. This is a huge deal. This administration and the people that are backing it are actively speaking out against the Black Lives Matter movement. That is bigoted and wrong. We live in a country where police are able to get away with murdering people in their sleep in their own home, where police are able to get away with shooting someone in the back 7 times in front of their children. This is wrong, and we have an administration that is saying that's okay, that there are good people on both sides. No. The administration is telling people to liberate Michigan and stand by, and they took that to mean, oh, let's get a plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, who I stand. And I'm very happy that they thwarted those people. That is insane that in 2020 America, there is a credible plot to kidnap a sitting governor. They are fascist, bigots, they are... Let's bleep that out. I am so angry that they are still in office, and it is time for us to activate ourselves and vote. And we're going to talk about how to do that now. And the way to do that is to have a plan. Find out when early voting in your state happens. Find out how to get an absentee ballot. Make sure you're registered to vote. And on November 3rd, if you haven't already voted early, get to the polls. Donald Trump is over here saying, oh, COVID's not a big deal. Oh, COVID's not a big deal. Well, guess what? I'm a gig worker and I've been out of work for 7 months. Guess what? There are people who don't have access to unemployment right now. Guess what? There are small businesses that are shutting down and need help. And excuse me, the only super spreader I see around here is the Rose Garden when all those old ass white men are shaking each other's hands and hugging, and poor Kellyanne Conway's daughter has to be the whistleblower to let everybody know that they're coughing on each other, getting people sick. Wear a mask. Just wear a mask. This Rose Garden event is a mess. Amy Coney Barrett, the woman who could be the deciding factor in whether or not we have health care, brought her kids to a super spreader event with no mask. Who brings their 7 kids to an event in a pandemic with no mask on? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Miss Coney. No, ma'am, Miss Barrett, Miss Coney Barrett. Put on a mask. It's like Oprah giving away cars. You got COVID, you got COVID, you got COVID. I should call Child Protective Services. That doesn't seem very motherly to me. Lives are on the line. Literal lives are on the line. And they have 200,000 plus people who have died on their watch. No more are we going to be a country that only fights for the wealthy 1% patriarchy. We are going to be a country that stands up and fights for the indigenous community, for the black community, for the immigrant community, for women, and for queer LGBTQIA plus people, and the most marginalized and vulnerable among us. Donald Trump, your days are numbered. This queen is coming for you with an army of queens ready to go to the polls. There are so many different ways that you can vote in this country. You can vote by mail, absentee voting. You can vote early if you live in New York like I do. Early voting starts October 24th, but make sure that you have a day of voting plan. This is crucial. And Trump is over here yakking away about how voting by mail and absentee voting is fraudulent and not the way to do it. But did you know that the military votes by mail? Oh, that's right. Donald Trump doesn't care about the military because he is on record as saying that people who have died are losers. The only loser I see here is you, sir. Do you know who else votes by mail? Donald Trump. The only thing fraudulent that I see is that busted ass orange makeup that he wears all the time and his busted ass hair that he spent $70,000 in taxes on, which when he was in the hospital during his little look how busy I'm working just signing this blank piece of paper in Walter Reed Medical Center thinking that he was all this, that, and the other. He wasn't working and he was pale as Meanwhile, most people in this country are out of work and do not know how they're going to pay their rent or put food on the table. I wish I had $70,000 for hair because if I did, I would have glued the side of my wig down, which I did not for this segment because I did not have any glue because we are in a pandemic and the store is not open and I cannot get it. So I am popping off on my wig. And this is why one of the reasons we need to vote. So make sure you're doing it. And ways that we're going to do that is by telling you how to get to the polls. Have a day of voting plan. If you need information on your polling location, absentee ballots, just general voting facts, go to iwillvote.com. Here's a fun fact about absentee ballots. All you need to do is sign your absentee ballot and you can drop it at any polling location once early voting starts. And this is a little bit of information that people may not know. Your early voting polling location may be different than your election day polling location. So make sure you find this information out before early voting or for the November 3rd election day. If you're unable to get to the polls for whatever reason, then you better make sure that you have an absentee ballot. This is so important. This is vote by mail. Vote by mail. Get up into that. Make sure that if you can't get to the polls in person, you can do this. The most important thing you can do is have a plan of action for voting. So visit the website, check it out, and make a plan. We need to go out in huge numbers to get this out of office. Our democracy depends on it. We are voting your fascist ass out on November 3rd. So this is what we're fighting for. All right, that's a wrap.
You know, quite often on this show, I chat with people who are way smarter than me, but rarely are they ever as gorgeous. And our next guest swiftly checks both of those boxes. Please welcome the fabulous Karine Jean Pierre.
Oh, thank you so much, Monet. You always look fabulous, and I'm such a huge fan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so
Absolutely.
grateful.
Yay!
How are you doing? This is such an, I'm sure for you, a really exciting time. How are you handling all of it? How are you doing?
You know, just hanging in there. Less than 3 weeks to go, or not 3 weeks. What am I saying? I'm getting ahead of myself. About 3 weeks to go. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. And, you know, I'm excited. I feel great. I'm thrilled about, you know, being part of the team that's going to help the Biden-Harris ticket, you know, go into the administration and win on November 3rd. And honestly, Monet, there is nowhere else I would rather be as far as job-wise and where I am in my career than right now working on this campaign. So I'm excited. I feel excited because there's so much on the line. The most consequential election of our lifetime. And so we have to do this. We have to.
Yeah. Well, you know, you being an immigrant, like so many of us, like myself, like so many of us watching the show, and you know, from a family like that, what inspired you to go into politics? Like, what about? Because I saw an interview with you, and you showed that picture of you and your family sitting at the White House, you in that in an outfit. Like, what inspired you to want to go into politics?
It's so wild. So what I'm about to say. You know exactly. I'm sure you feel me on this, but I had no thoughts or desire to go in politics when I was growing up. My immigrant parents, and both my parents are from Haiti. I actually was born in Martinique. And so I'm an immigrant myself.
Well, you know, my family's from St. Lucia. We're neighboring islands.
Neighbors. Yeah. And so when they came here, like so many other immigrant families, you come here for the American dream. You want to survive. You want to make it. You want to give everything that you can to your kids, including education. So my parents were like, we want you to be either a doctor, lawyer, or engineer.
Yes.
So, you know what I'm talking about, Monet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to be a doctor. Anyway, it didn't work out. And I never thought about politics because my parents really weren't into it. They came from a dictatorship, so they were very, very nervous. And it wasn't until grad school, I went to Columbia University. David Dinkins, who was the first African-American mayor of New York City, became a mentor of mine. He was teaching at SIPA, the School of International Public Affairs. And so I got into politics, to get straight to it. To your question, is because I wanted to make an impact, to make a world a better place. And policy I believe, was the most effective way to do that. That's the kind of the masters that I went into in public policy. And I wasn't, like I said, originally into politics, but when I got into Columbia, I was really lucky with mentors. And honestly, from there, I went to campaign and worked for movements at all levels. I went from New York City Council to presidential campaigns to the White House. And
the Obama administration, amen.
Yes. So, and because of those experiences, I learned that politics really energized me because it offered me the opportunity to improve the lives of people that looked like me and came from similar backgrounds as me.
Yeah. And you being a Black queer woman in politics, that honestly gives so much strength to those who fall under those identities. How are you navigating being in politics under this administration and living through it?
Yeah, I got to be totally honest. It's been tough. It's been hard. Yeah. I mean, we have a president right now, Donald Trump, who doesn't care about Black, brown people, immigrants, queer people, and says it doesn't hide it. You see it in the policies. Divides us, doesn't bring us together at all. No desire to do that. And again, this is why this election is so important. Everything is on the ballot. And the other thing, so I'm queer, I'm a Black woman, I am an immigrant, I'm also a mom. I have a 6-year-old, and we have a 6-year-old. She's a beautiful little girl. And one of the reasons I got into this is because I think about my daughter. One of the reasons, besides the fact that I've known Joe Biden for a long time, as we just mentioned, the Obama-Biden administration. Yeah, I've gotten to know him over the years, over a decade now, and I believe in him, and I think he's going to be a great leader. But my kid plays into this too. who, like the rest of us, is living in such a chaotic world. So I'm fighting to make sure that my daughter and the millions of others, like Black and brown kids who look like her, have a shot at a better future. And that's why I'm so driven to being part of this campaign, the Biden-Harris campaign. Because we got to.
And we need your voice. We need your voice. And then, you know, now we're doing the Supreme Court hearings, and they're really heavily focused on the Affordable Care Act and trying to eradicate, and they're trying to take it away and destroy it. What are your thoughts on us trying to replace, who honestly, she was such an angel, RGB, such a great justice and so amazing and moral, with Amy Coney Barrett. What are your thoughts on, because she's going to get in, what it's looking like? What do we do going forward?
You know, it's really unfortunate because this should not be happening. This confirmation should not be happening. It's against all protocol that the Senate has followed. And we're so close, less than 30 days. We're so close to this election that the people should decide. The people should have a say who is going to be their president. And from there, we move on. And so the scary part about this, right? And we know this, we know why Donald Trump picked her. And we're looking at ACA. ACA, Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, has given healthcare to tens of millions of people. The Trump administration, and they are lying about this, but this is true. The Trump administration right now is in the courts trying to take away healthcare from 20 million people. And here's the thing, Monét, they're doing it in the middle of a global pandemic.
It is honestly, it's like we're watching an episode of Scandal. We're living through an episode of Scandal.
Exactly. And you're like, please save us.
You know?
Save us. But all seriousness, I mean, they're doing this while people are dying. More than 210,000 Americans have died of COVID-19. And you want to take away people's healthcare, and here's the thing, the Biden-Harris administration will expand healthcare. They'll make it more affordable. They will make sure that you have options. And that's what they're going to do. And this president doesn't care. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about anyone who looks like us. And so we have to be really mindful about this, because you cannot, I mean, it's cruel. It's pure cruelty when you're taking away people's healthcare while folks are suffering. And the economy is in crisis on top of that because of his mismanagement of COVID-19.
So now I'm not going to be biased. Pencil terrible. The last debate, Kamala Harris, literally, she was so great, so poised. I'm speaking everything. I loved it. What are some major takeaways that Americans can have from the vice presidential debate?
So first of all, let me start here, because we're talking about people who look at like us, women who look like us. And the one thing that I want to say is it was historic. You know, seeing her on stage just as a Black woman, a woman of Indian vice presidential debate. She's on this ticket, and Joe Biden picked her, right? We gotta give him props. He picked her, right? And she made history that night. It was historical. And it was almost a trifecta, because when she was chosen, it was historical. Then she accepted the nomination at the convention. And then she did this debate, and she cut through the noise, Monét, because all you heard from Mike Pence was lies, deflection, and just nastiness. And it's the same thing that we've been hearing from this administration for the last 4 years. The same thing that his boss did the week before with Joe Biden during their debate. And so she cut through the noise, and she spoke directly to the American people, and she laid out what a Biden-Harris administration would look like. Talked about the plan, talked about healthcare, talked about the economy and how to get out of this hole that Donald Trump put us in. And she laid it out. She talked about ACA and what he's doing right now in the courts. And so we could not be prouder of her. And we knew Mike Pence was going to be, he's a good debater. He's a very good debater, but she was prepared and she won that debate. That debate.
100%. There's no, and to quote Mortal Kombat, flawless victory. You know what I mean? It was great. It was great. Now, in the name of all that is good and karmaful or kamalaful, you will be the next chief of staff to the Vice President of the United States. What can you, for people like me who don't know a lot about anything, what exactly is a chief of staff, and what will you be doing for the next administration?
That's a good question. So right now I'm the chief of staff for the campaign.
Yeah. I know. I'm just sending out good, positive karma, good vibes. I'm just being hopeful.
I get it. I appreciate you putting it into existence. I love you for it. I appreciate it. And we'll see. You know, we gotta win, and we'll see what happens. And whatever I do next, it will be fighting for people. You know, for vulnerable communities, people who look like me, people who look like us, and you know, making sure that we have a voice and a platform. So I will always be doing that. That's what's in my core. That's what's in my heart. So chief of staff is basically managing staff, strategizing, thinking ahead, managing her day to day, and trying to figure out how do we best utilize her time, because there's not a lot of it. Helping her, you know, making sure she had the right team around her to prepare for the debate, for example. And stuff like that. Like it's very forward thinking, but also day to day. So you're trying to manage and balance both of those things. It's been an honor. It's been an honor to serve as her chief of staff. It's been an honor to be a senior advisor to Joe Biden on this campaign. And I am just excited to take this to the finish line.
Yes. Now, what can I say? One of my favorite moments from 2019 was you stepping in front of that maniac who charged the stage. So for those of y'all who don't know, they're at this the Big Ideas Forum, and Karine and Senator Harris are at this forum, and this crazy cisgendered white dude just charged the stage and grabs the mic. But what the crazy thing is, Karine has no idea if he has a gun, a knife, whatever. You step in front of Senator Harris and you're like, what are you doing, dude? And it was, honestly, it was so bold. And it just, honestly, it just speaks to who you are, your character. You immediately were stepped in front of her to stop any malintent. It was amazing. What was going through your mind? I don't know what I would do in that moment.
You know what's so wild? So as a move on, so I used to work for, or I took a leave of absence from an organization called Move On, and it was their Big Ideas Forum, and I was moderating along with a good friend of mine, Stephanie. And it's so wild, Monét, because that day, while we were having a conversation on stage, it was all women of color. It was myself, Stephanie, Latina, and the DJ was a Black woman. And of course, we have Kamala Harris. And we are actually, if you go back, the question that she's answering is actually about women of color. And,
oh my God.
And so here comes this guy coming on stage, and I think it really was exemplified so many things for women at that moment. This happens to us in variations, clearly not in that dramatic way, all the time, the time. You know, where our space is invaded, where we have to kind of stick up for ourselves and others, and that was that pivotal moment. And at the time, I was just thinking, I just knew, I knew he was coming for her, and it was just my sister instinct, that mom instinct, right?
So good.
And I can't even explain it. You know, I've had some of my older mothers, right? Older friends who are just kind of like, don't ever do that again.
I know.
So I have to tell you a story. So when that happened, I didn't tell my mom. My brother and my sister called me. They're like, "Oh my God, you can't tell Mummy." That's what we call her, Mummy, because she's.
Oh my God, that's what I call my mom too, Mummy. Mummmy. Like she's
exactly.
Like,
and so they're
Mummy.
like, exactly. And so they're like, she's going to be stressed out. She's going to be really worried, because that's what moms do. They worry. So we didn't tell her, and this thing exploded, right? Just like it made national and local news. And so maybe on day 3 or day 4 afterwards, my mom calls me and she's just like, so I was at the bank. And she was like, someone's talking, because my mom doesn't watch TV. She doesn't have cable. So she hadn't seen it. And so someone mentioned you stepping in front of somebody. And then my brother later, maybe an hour later, my brother shows her the video and she was like, you go, girl. That's that's exactly right. That's what you do. And I was shocked. I was like, okay. But so it was
I love that. I love.
But, yeah.
What are you doing election night, Karine?
Oh, wow.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh man, that's such a good question. With COVID-19, everything has changed. Like right now, I should be in the studio with you in New York.
Yeah.
Maybe with an audience. I don't know. But and right now with COVID, it's like I'm right here in my home office talking with you. And, we just got to be, honestly, we have to be really safe. One of the things that we have been doing as a campaign is we've been traveling a lot, but we've been doing it in a smart way and showing leadership, making sure we're wearing masks, washing our hands, having social distancing. And Joe Biden has been traveling regularly. Kamala's been traveling regularly. And so, but we do it very, very safely because we not only have to protect ourselves, but we have to protect everyone that we're around. And so that's the first thinking, right? We got to be safe on how to do this. I will, it might be what I did in 2016. In 2016, I was all over going back and forth between various TV programs to provide, commentary. So, it probably be something like that. Looking at the numbers, trying to figure out.
I know every minute, like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
I
like,
can imagine.
Florida, how's it going in North Carolina?
In the absolute worst case scenario, Karine, worst case scenario, God forbid, there is not a victory for the Biden-Harris campaign. Please. What is your next move?
Oh man, look, I'm gonna do what you did, Monet. I'm gonna speak it to existence. I'm excited to watch Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win on November 3rd. And I think it's pretty much, I think when this is all over, I'm looking forward to taking a little bit of time, to a break, right?
I'm sure.
Spending time with my family, which brings me tons of joy. I mentioned my daughter and my partner, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Some much needed rest, and I think in whatever my next role is, like I was saying earlier, I promise it will continue. I will continue the work that I've endeavored on during my entire career, which is working to make America all it can be for those who have been left behind. Like that is my core, that is in my gut, in my heart, and that is what I want to do. And so whatever that looks like, I will serve for the people.
And I think that is a great place to lead this interview. Thank you so much, Karine, for sitting with me and chatting, giving us great insight. And I can't wait to meet you in real life one day. And thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Be safe out there.
I will. You too. You too. Stay safe. And I look forward. I will tweet you on November 4th at 7 a.m. Be like, woo! We did it, girl. We did it.
Yeah, we can do a little dance.
Yes, just like that. Thank you so much, Karina. Be safe, and thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. Thank you. From a lowly New York City citizen, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, my dear. Guys, that is all for this week's show. What a great show. Blu Hydrangea, Karine Jean Pierre. This was such a great show. Once again, if you're not listening to our podcast, mama, you're missing out. You can listen to it at the gym. You can listen to it on a flight. You can listen, there's so many options. The options are endless. Follow the link down below in the description box to subscribe to our podcast and like it. Give us a rating so you can boost us in the podcast thing so we can be more, fierce. Once again, I love you guys so much. And thank you for always watching The Exchange Rate. And keep your currency in check, bitch. We back with the liquor.
This is why we need to get to the polls and vote. We're gonna cut, and we're gonna take it again. Take two. The military does it, and do you know who else does it but says that it's fraudulent, but it's not fraudulent? He does it because he's a conniving little piece of who lies to the American public. We're gonna cut, And we're gonna do take 3. You could be a better director. No, your orange foundation is fraudulent, okay? Let's take 4. With your ridiculous hair that costs $70,000 in write-offs for taxes. Edit. Donald Trump votes by mail. Donald Trump votes absentee. Donald Trump, you're a lying. Oh! So get your absentee ballots. We're gonna pause. New edit. So find out information at... I don't like any of this. I'm here for Kamala. I stand Kamala. Kamala's my girl. I will never swat a fly again.